I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. You just heard Cold by the Coronas. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and the Committee of No One will be meeting tonight under a bridge. If you have a record of attending these meetings, then you know that you're allowed to come and enjoy the festivities. If you are not a previous member, you must pass the committee's tests, the sacred tests. The tests start with a simple mile jog, wherein participants will pass through town waving to everyone they see. If anyone waves back, you are immediately disqualified and will never be allowed to join in the test again, not until next year. After the run, there is a series of questions directed to know if you are well known in the community. Questions like, does anyone know your real name? And who hurt you? If the Committee of No One agrees that you are not known enough to be considered someone, they will let you into the group. They will let you help make decisions that affect no one. They will let you know if you have been accepted into the committee by way of carrier pigeon, the long extinct bird. It will be in invisible ink. I suggest heating the paper 5 inches above a steady flame. See, I was accepted into the committee a few years ago, and have kept my promise to never speak to anyone in person ever again. It's a solitary life, but it's worth it, I think. Up next, Young Folks by Peter Bjorn and John. A few announcements, and then Break My Baby by Kaleo. That was Not Dead Yet by Lord Huron. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and we are so excited to announce that we have small ice. That's right, we have solid water in the volume of not much of it. We have not much ice in the shape of square. It does not have any velocity relative to me. Relative to me, the ice is still pretty big when comparing to the size of an atom. We are both tiny when compared to the universe, though. The ice machine came in yesterday and everyone is excited. We've had a line of people around the block for what feels like hours. I refuse to let any of them in. This radio station is a fortress and I am its knight. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. Except for me when I'm finished with my shift. I cannot believe the crowd that this has attracted. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love ice as much as the next guy. But what's to say that our ice is the best ice around? Why is everyone so obsessed with our crushed ice? Oh, there it is. It's because it's crushed. Right. And Chick-fil-A is closed, so, yep, I guess this is the next best option. We're not getting any. It's my ice. And if anyone tries to touch it, I will set off the booby traps, I swear. Up next, Friend by Gracie Abrams. And after that, Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors. You just heard Tune Yards by... No, you just heard Hold Yourself by the Tune Yards. Sometimes the names get mixed up. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. She was bright. She was smart. She was the top of her class every year she agreed to attend school, which was not often. See, she was quite literally a genius, but she simply was not able. Something with the schooling system messed with her head a bit, something about the small confines of a classroom being placed in being a place of poor stimulation. She would plead with her parents to let her stay home from school and just go outside. She promised she could learn on her own, figure out what really matters out there, out in the real world. Parents would not see it. They attended a school. They sat in a windowless classroom for 8 hours out of the day, and it served them well. Her parents earned jobs right out of college. They both made twice that of minimum wage and were content. They paid more than their fair share of taxes, and they were fine with that. What was the other option, right? She was not impressed with where their degrees had taken them. And so one day, rather than asking politely about the school and her attendance, she skipped. She took the bus to school, but instead of walking to the building, she turned on her heel and walked into the forest. Up next, Trojans by Atlas Genius, and after that, Skin and Bones by Cage the Elephant. You just heard Peach Fuzz by Camp. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and my magic battery is depleted, folks. I've been tinkering with the inherent state of things, and it has been overwhelming. There are a lot of things. I've been using so much up, I've actually had to take out an energy loan. A small-time god gave me some extra juice in return for a peck on the cheek and a few artifacts I've collected, or created, over the years. The little leaguer took my bronze turtle that could be thrown through a wall, a dagger with no blade that could undo the damage of a knife wound, and a shawl that I got a higher god to spit on. Honestly, that shawl wasn't even that big of a deal. I drained it for all it was worth as soon as I could. I've got that spit in a little vial now, collecting dust on a shelf until that inevitable day when I need to summon her again. I'll miss my artifacts, but it's worth it for the battery. This stone cube, perfectly cut. It has a trim of bronze and an aura about it. It doesn't seem to ever touch whatever surface it's resting on, always on a cushion of air, hovering. When I hold it, I can tell it's the real deal. Even being in the room with the thing, I can feel my hands fill up, the potential of my magic doubling, if not more. Worth it. So worth it. I can't imagine the things I'll come up with because of this. Maybe I'll resurrect a raccoon. Who knows? Up next, Let Me Love You Like a Woman, like Lana Del Rey. And after that, Resignation Superman by Big Head Todd and the Monsters. That was Happier by Marshmello featuring Bastille. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and the Order of the Fairies has been in power for millennia, with no fervent protesters, until recently. Yes, the fairies have come under a bit of heavy fire in the public relations department after kidnapping one of the mayor's daughters. Now, we all know the fairies like to take children and save them for later dates, effectively time traveling, as well as taking some of that extra work off of families. But this one went too far. The entire town is upset at these actions. You do not touch the mayor's daughter without the mayor's permission. There have been riots in the woods for weeks. People demand the mayor's daughter be returned. They demand she be released from the same prison their children are held in. The protesters are upset, rightfully. It is an upsetting thing. But I'm concerned about the mayor. I know she isn't too happy about all this, but it doesn't make sense. She didn't start the protests. The kids at school did. See, to me, it almost seems like the mayor is indifferent to the whole scenario. When I asked the mayor, her eyes just glossed over. She didn't hurt from it. It just was. Her daughter was gone, and that was that. I have this feeling, though, this gut kind of pain that keeps telling me she did this on purpose. The Order of Fairies doesn't deny consent. Up next, Hallucinogenics by Matt Mason. And after that, Sword from the Stone by Passenger. But before I let you go, it is midnight, dear listener. Which means it's the end of my shift. But don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. No biggie, it's just Tuesday. Today was a pretty good day. Tomorrow will be even better.